So this room, these bodies, this is just energy in every form. It's just energy. It's completely impersonal. It's completely without cause, completely without relationship. It just is energy. It has no direction. There isn't anything that's making this energy happen. There's no God, there's no greater energetic authority that is making this happen. It's just what's happening. It's completely free to be whatever it wants to be. Energy is boundless. You could say energy is wholeness if you want to, or oneness, but that begins to sound a bit spiritual. This is not a spiritual message. And so all we have here is energy arising as anything it wants to be. It's energy arising as a room, air, sound, feelings, bodies, chairs, floors. It's just energy being everything and anything. And it's completely boundless. It can't be contained. It can't be measured. It's absolutely appears to be ordered. Look, it's ordered. Look, this is a room. It must be in order somewhere or other to appear like this. But it's also chaotic. It's also totally unpredictable because it's free. It's mad. It's wild. It can't be measured. Scientists are trying to measure energy. They're trying to measure nothing, no thing. They're trying to say where the Big Bang started. This is the Big Bang. It didn't start. It doesn't continue. It just is. So all it is what is. And in that energy arises a sense of separation. Energy can appear and pretend to be a separate energy. Bodies are just bodies. They're just energy body. But in that body, strangely enough, uniquely in the human body, arises an energy which feels as though it's separate. There's a feeling of something in the body that senses or has the feeling or belief, even stronger than belief, that there is something separate, an energy in here that's contracted and separate from the whole. So there's a sense in the human being only of what we call self-consciousness. There isn't anything else that's self-conscious, that's conscious of itself as a separate identity, that thinks of itself as a me, or a self, or a person, or an individual. It's a totally unique human happening. But there aren't any humans, there aren't any people, there is no individual. It's simply energy. It's simply energy appearing as that. But the problem, or not the problem, but the dilemma is that as the child grows up and becomes more and more a me, and an individual, and a person, so that it's like a monster that takes over. It's like an imposter that suddenly takes over and totally believes that it's real. So as far as the open secret is concerned, that energy is a dream energy. It's a hypnotic dream, which is very powerful and very real for the individual. And the individual grows up and believes absolutely that it has free will and choice, and that it's in a story. I was born, I'm going to live so long, and I'm going to die. So I am in this story, and that story must have a purpose, and I can make that purpose worthwhile. I can make my story work, whatever that means. And so this energetic contraction, which seems to have an identity, grows up and starts to think and dream that it's in control. When I was a kid, I went to a fair where they have wheels going round. You know. And one of the things they had there was a circle with cars, motor cars in it, and you sat in the car, and it had a steering wheel. Originally.
Yes.
And I really believed that I was steering that car. And this is the dilemma of the individual. The individual believes that they are running their show, that they are the managing director of their lives, and they can choose to do this or that. If I choose that, that'll be better. If I choose that, it'll be worse, so I'll choose that. The strange thing is that in that dream, there seems to be somebody there that can function and make things work. But in another strange sort of way, whatever that person thinks or dreams they can do, in the end, is never satisfying. It can be satisfying for a while, like making a lot of money, or having lots of lovers, nice, or anything like that, being politically powerful, or being a professional victim. All of those things can be satisfying for a while, but they only satisfy for a while. Because as I grew up, my experience was that I was in a car still, on a sort of train, going round a circle. And what I was in all the time as Tony Parsons, the individual, was I was in a train that was having different experiences. Every day there was a different experience, this and then that and then that. And I went to bed and I woke up. And the next day there was another experience and another one and another one and another one. And I was on the move. Tony Parsons was always on the move. The individual lives and can only exist, this dream of being an individual can only exist in time. It's locked in time. No time, no individual. No story, no individual. Mm-hmm. Me and the story are the same thing. So the individual lives in a story, and I felt that I was living in a story where there was one event after another. It was like that, da 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 da. Sometimes it was satisfying, sometimes not. And I was a seeker, and I would do Vipassana, and experience stillness, and I would do self-inquiry, and I would experience detachment, and I'd do open my fourth chakra for about 3 minutes. All those things were happening, and sometimes they just felt really satisfying, just for a little while. Something else wasn't satisfying. Something else is not satisfying for the individual. It is the constant feeling of being separate. Although the individual may not recognize it, when the individual, the separate person, the me, looks at a tree, or looks at the sky, or looks at another person, they never see the natural reality, they see an artificial reality created out of separation. There is a sense of being separate from the sky, from the tree, from the person. So the individual never sees a tree. They see a separate tree. They never see the grass. They see separate grass. They never see the sky. They see a separate sky. Because they have the embodied sense. It's not a belief. It's not a thought. It's not an idea. It's an embodied, energetic sense of being something. I am something here, me, this, and the tree is something else over there. It's over there, it's separate. So that sense of dissatisfaction gets to people, and they want to learn how to be fulfilled, how to get rid of that dissatisfaction. In the end, ultimately, they want to learn how not to be separate. So they go to teachers, but the teachers also live in the dream, because the teacher is trying to help you, the person, to get somewhere. The teacher believes it's a person that's found something, and it believes it can help other people find that thing. So the teacher is on the train with you, helping you to get to a better destination. And And all of this is the dilemma of the seeker. So what we're talking about here, what we're sharing together, is another possibility. An amazing, revolutionary possibility. The possibility we're sharing is that there's no one in this room. There's no separate person in this room. The whole sense of separation is illusory, it's a dream. The whole sense that you are sitting there as a person is a dream. And it's possible in sharing and revealing that possibility. It's also what can happen is that that dream sense can suddenly start collapsing. That castle that we all build. I remember building my castle. Me, I'm the most important person in the world. But that castle that me builds can suddenly start crumbling. And it does. It's happening all over the place. So we can share that together in words. Words can bring a sort of clarity, an understanding of the way we have built up an identity. But that isn't liberation. Clarity is not liberation. In some way or other, something else can happen. It is that the sense of separation, the dream world, is energetic. It's energy. I started off by saying, all of this is simply energy in any form. And contraction or separation is simply an energetically held contraction in the body. And it's quite possible that that sense of tightness, of fear in a way, a fear-oriented tightness, can loosen and dispel into the whole. Because finally, all there is boundlessness. All there is freedom. All there is what is. This room is full of what is. It simply is. This is isness happening. This is energy happening. It's not happening to anyone. It's just happening. It's just life happening.